Erection Day. We get what? Election Day. Sorry, completely different. Not as fun.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen across our beautiful country of Canada, our friends around the world, in the known and unknown universe. Welcome back to your favorite Angry Canadian on the 14th day of October 2023. And it is 2:28 here in the Okanagan, British Columbia. So yesterday, I was ready to make a video, but I was thinking about what? There's so many events unfolding. You know, there are earthquakes, there are floods, there are wars, there's hunger, there is poverty, there is homelessness. I mean, you can go down a whole damn list. And what's most important, war. What's happened to Ukraine and Russia? Well, never mind. We got Israel and Hamas now. Well, yeah, that's it. We'll get that Hamas. How many people know what Hamas is or what they stand for? And what happened in Israel is inexcusable. But that's how humanity has always been.
Created as a Blue Seal task to quickly license the 20,000 immigrant doctors we have in Canada. Many of them are prevented from ever working, and they give up on getting a job as a doctor, and they end up taking low-wage work for the rest of their lives. I'm proposing a simple Blue Seal testing standard that would apply right across Canada. Take the test, get the license, get to work within 60 days.
Okay, and I mean that obviously you're going to encounter some opposition from the College of Medicine, etc. across the provinces.
Yeah. That's
so how do you deal with that issue?
We push forward. But there's not easy street leads to a dead end. Best hard roads lead to the best destinations. We're no longer going to accept that this or that gatekeeping bureaucracy stands in the way of obvious common sense solutions. It is unacceptable that 20,000 doctors can't work in Canada when we have a massive shortage.
This or that clerk or bureaucracy is not going to be happy. That's life.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of vested interests in bureaucracies that are going to be very unhappy when I'm Prime Minister.
Okay. On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left
but
or right.
Anyways,
I don't really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just a sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
What are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me the page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So
I'm not sure. I don't know what your question
Okay,
is.
then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Common sense for people to that that clerk or bureaucracy is not going to be happy. That's life. There's going to be a lot of vested interests and bureaucracies that are going to be very unhappy when I'm here.
Okay. On the topic, in terms of your strategy, currently you're obviously taking a populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing, that type of
I talk about
Anyways,
I believe in that.
okay. A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump.
What people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
Like who?
I don't know who, but
Well, last question.
yeah, okay. I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just their ideological inclination in terms of taking a page out of Donald Trump's book, but also
What page? Give me the page. You're saying
turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
sorry, I don't know.
Okay, then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense for change.
Little squeaky boy. Well, there's no denying it. I don't like him. I don't like Trudeau. I'm a very hard to please person because we have a damn big country and it has a lot of issues. And when I hear somebody say, oh, the world's gone absolutely crazy, and you might, maybe I said it in the past, but the more I think about it, there's nothing wrong with our world. There's nothing wrong with 99 point something% of the population. You don't wake up in the morning thinking, oh, how can I change the currency to benefit me and take some away from the other people? Because when it comes to digital currency, what's going to happen to a lemonade stand? And I'm just being facetious now, but you get the point. When cash isn't used, is not allowed to use, it's not going to be a great situation predominantly for small businesses and individuals. So there's so many things, but what I'm trying to get at is that none of what's going on is our fault, the citizens. But we stand by with our limp thing in our hands. Now, that's guy talk. And do nothing. It's just do nothing. Just accept what's happening. And not just Canada. USA, Europe, it's happening Australia, New Zealand, predominantly the Western so-called democratic powers. The ones that write the rules, the laws, they're so friggin' special. Right now they're having a big fit over what happened in Israel. And man, is understandable. But the retaliation, man, it just shows that the enemy who now we're siding with, or, there's two sides, whether you want to call them enemy or friend or whatever, what they're going to do, what they are threatening to do is beyond war crimes. That's one of the most densely populated areas. They have no food, no water, no electricity, and more than 1 million people have been told to get the hell out of their city. Because for what some people did, everyone is gonna pay a price. That sounds like something that was tried, back in the 1930s or something, making everyone pay. Didn't work out. It's not gonna work out now. And for little Pierre to be on the podium supporting blindly, it just shows you once again that he's no different than Trudeau. I mean, you can't say anything against it. You can't say that, Canada is going to stay out of this one, because there are a lot of facts to discuss. What's been going on in Gaza for, 70 years, I believe, is the time, since after World War II, or 52 or so. Way back, long time ago, Israel has dominated. And same with the West Bank. And over time, a simpleton, watching news has seen Israeli settlers move up and up and up and take land and houses, and the West did nothing. Anytime there was a thing brought against Israel in the United Nations Security Council, U.S., probably with GB, Great Britain, blocked it because Israel was allowed to do what it wanted, because to them, I presume that the Palestinians were subhuman. That's something else too that's in the dialect or dictionary of the West, subhuman. So what's happening with little Pierre?
It is with a combination of heartbreak
Piss off with your
and
heartbreak.
outrage that I join with all of you here
Politicking,
today.
sucking up, being fake as fake can be.
Heartbreak for the innocent mothers, babies, grandparents,
In Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Ukraine,
partygoers,
in all the other
peace
places.
activists
Syria. Oh, let's
who
Libya.
suddenly
Libya.
and inexplicably lost their
It's not
lives
about what about
the
isn't.
hands
It's about plain simple
of an
hypocrisy,
unprecedented terrorist
which
attack.
now the populations around the world are picking up on. Africa, for one, is not under the power of the U.S. anymore.
As you can see, this is the National Executive Committee. All of us standing here, pledging our solidarity with the people of Palestine. We stand here because we are deeply concerned about the atrocities that are unfolding in the Middle East, and we have passed our condolences to the people of Israel, as we are passing our condolences to the people of Palestine. And we have a full understanding of how the people of Palestine have taken up this issue, because they are people, as many countries and leaders in the world have opined, that they have been under occupation for almost 75 years. And people under occupation who have been waging a struggle against an oppressive government that has occupied their land, but also a government that has in recent times been dubbed an apartheid state. As people and an organization that has struggled against an oppressive system of apartheid, we do pledge solidarity with the Palestinians. And as the African National Congress, we have always pledged our solidarity with them, and we've always insisted that the only solution for the problems in the Middle East, particularly between Israel and Palestine, is a two-state solution based on the 1967 borders as approved by the world community and the United Nations. Now, the violation of the rights of the Palestinians that has manifested itself through the occupation of their land, through bringing in settlers so close and into their land, is something that is causing a great deal of concern and has possibly sparked off this conflict that is now unfolding. The atrocities that are happening now, where the residences of people in that part of the world are being razed to the floor, pregnant mothers are not even able to give birth in a respectable manner, hospitals are being razed to the floor. But the worst part is when the Israeli government now says 1.1 million people must evacuate the northern part of Gaza. Having closed all the exit routes, we do believe that this is a serious matter of great gravity and concern. And to this end, we've called on the international community, the United Nations, and all other concerned international bodies to make sure that peace is installed in Palestine and that the Israeli government is directed at withdrawing this command of getting people out of the northern part of Gaza, because it is in the end going to amount to almost genocide, as many people are going to die. As we speak now, almost 500,000 people who are Palestinians have been displaced. They've been removed from their homes, they live in schools and other areas as well. This is the most tragic situation and almost dangerous situation that the people of Palestine have been exposed to. And we have called for the humanitarian corridors to be open so that food, water, and electricity can be made available to the people of Gaza.
Saudi Arabia, it's kind of turned its back on the U.S. and it appears it's going to do the same with the U.S. dollar. It seems like some people have said or thought that that's enough. We've taken enough. We're equal. At the very least, we're equal. You know, if they come to us wanting our oil or our minerals or our land for growing, whatever they want, they have to be fair. This isn't the banana republics in Central America. Look that up. How America worked on behalf of banana companies.
And outrage at the attackers. And so, in starting my remarks tonight, let me be explicitly clear.
Oh, please!
Hamas is not a militant organization. It is not an activist organization. It is surely not a government. It is a sadistic, demonic, genocidal, terrorist death cult, and it must be defeated and destroyed. Incredible carnage that this terrorist death cult has unleashed in the last 72 hours would be bad enough were it not for the apparent pleasure and sadistic pride with which it was carried out.
Piss off.
And so I say to those who might not perhaps have strong opinions about the Middle East,
Stupid.
what kind of organization would carry out such hideous violence against such obviously innocent people?
As distant struggles become shared sorrows. Ripples from the Israel-Hamas conflict feeling closer than ever in the largest protest since last weekend's atrocities.
We are all Palestinians!
Thousands of pro-Palestinian supporters marched to Whitehall in London, all we spoke to wanting the same thing, an immediate ceasefire. Katie's Jewish. She's travelled from Hastings to be here.
Palestinians have been screaming for decades about this and no one was listening.
And in our silence, they experience violence on a daily basis. I'm speechless.
Nara Main says people in Gaza shouldn't be punished.
It's appalling. What happened last Saturday makes me feel I was shocked, really shocked. But what I'm seeing now is just war crime from Israel.
1, 2, 3, 4!
In other UK cities, protesters also made their voices heard. A police presence in each. And in London, 1,000 extra officers on the streets.
The language used around this conflict is so important, and the police have been extremely careful in their wording, describing themselves as independent and impartial as a service. However, they've also warned that anyone showing any support to any terrorist organisations will be arrested.
While mostly a peaceful protest, there were disagreements in the crowds, where Sky News witnessed a man appearing to hold a Hamas flag. On stage nearby, calls for the UK government to intervene.
Let's hear it from the people of the West Bank, from the people of Gaza, from the people of the refugee camps, and say very bluntly to our political leaders in this country, do not condone war crimes.
With the Palestinian ambassador thanking protesters.
Even now, when we feel isolated, abandoned, that so many of you are prepared to come out in support of Palestine, of justice, in support of law, in support of what is right, in support of peace. Make your voices heard.
With more protests planned, there's momentum on both sides.
All of Gazans are humans like you!
A conflict continuing to resonate far beyond its original borders. Adele Robinson, Sky News.
And that's the way it goes. I just heard on the news it is now 5:08 p.m. on the 14th of October 2023. And we get the Calgary news an hour earlier. That would be 6 o'clock Calgary time, 5 o'clock our time. Anyway, they were talking about big protests pro-Palestinian, not pro-violence, not pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian. We don't have a single damn politician willing to stand up and say, I'm standing with Palestine, not against Israel. We stand with them equally, and they both have rights. Israel's rights don't oversee Palestine, and Palestine's rights don't oversee Israel's. What a friggin' dream world I'm living in now, eh? Thank you for watching. There'll be more as I shake the cobwebs out of my brain about what a beautiful world we have, and why are so many people hell-bent on destroying it.